Amidst the timeless beauty of Sudan, where the Taka mountains stand tall and proud, a love story emerged that would echo through the ages. This is the tale of Al-Muhalliq and Tajooj, whose love story was whispered by the winds and cherished by generations. Join us on this journey of love, loss, and enduring hope. What happens when love turns to madness and despair? Can a broken heart ever truly heal? As Al-Muhalliq's love for Tajooj drives him to the edge of madness, the haunting echoes of his poetry fill the desert nights, a desperate cry for the love he's lost. Torn between the expectations of his tribe and his undying devotion, he faces a heartbreaking choice that could seal his fate. With every passing moment, the weight of his promise bears down on him, threatening to crush the last remnants of hope. Will Al-Muhalliq's unyielding love lead to reconciliation, or will it push him beyond the point of no return? The dawn of a new day brings with it the ultimate test of his heart and soul. Al-Muhalliq wandered the deserts of Kassala like a lost soul. The echoes of his love for Tajooj reverberated through the vast emptiness, driving him to the brink of madness. His heart, torn between love and despair, led him on a path of no return. After the heartbreaking divorce, Al-Muhalliq found himself adrift in a sea of sorrow. His heart, once filled with the joy of love, now felt like a barren desert. His poetry, which had once celebrated his love for Tajooj, now echoed with the mournful laments of a broken heart. Al-Muhalliq wandered the wilderness, a shadow of his former self, lost in a world of grief and regret. The villagers who had once admired and celebrated his love story now looked upon him with pity. They whispered about the tragic turn of events, their hearts heavy with the sorrow of seeing Al-Muhalliq in such a state. The vibrant, joyful poet was now a wandering soul consumed by the pain of lost love. Despite the whispers and the judgment of others, Al-Muhalliq's love for Tajooj remained pure and unyielding. He compared her beauty to the stars, the moon, and the most precious gems, but to him, she was even more unattainable now than ever before. Tajooj, too, was not spared the torment of a broken heart. She returned to her father's house, her spirit crushed by the weight of the divorce. Her beauty, which had once been a source of joy and admiration, now felt like a curse. Despite the pain, she remained resolute, believing that her decision to demand a divorce was justified. Back in the village, Al-Muhalliq's former friends, including Said and others, were torn by jealousy. They saw the deep love and passion Al-Muhalliq had for Tajooj, and resented the fact that such love was beyond their grasp. Their jealousy further fueled the conflict within the tribe. Tajooj, deeply affected by Al-Muhalliq's plight, sought refuge with her mother's family, hoping for a respite from the turmoil. When she returned to the village, her heart ached for the man she loved, but she was also bound by the expectations of her family and the tribe. Her return ignited a spark of hope in Al-Muhalliq, but also reignited tensions among the villagers. Seeing Tajooj back in the village and her son's despair, Al-Muhalliq's mother decided to take matters into her own hands. She could not bear to see her beloved son suffer, and was determined to mend his broken heart. She approached Tajooj, her eyes brimming with tears, pleading for her to reconsider her decision and remarry Al-Muhalliq. Her voice, a mixture of sorrow and desperation, begged Tajooj to have mercy on the man who was driven to madness by her love. Tajooj, despite her heartache, felt a pang of sympathy for Al-Muhalliq. She agreed to meet him one last time, hoping that seeing him might bring some closure. The meeting was drenched in sorrow and unspoken words, the air thick with the weight of their shared history. As they stood before each other, the sight of Al-Muhalliq, reduced to a shell of his former self, broke Tajooj's heart. His once vibrant eyes were now dimmed with pain, his posture slumped under the burden of his anguish. Their eyes met, and in that moment all the love, hurt, and regret they had endured seemed to pour out in silent communication. Tajooj struggled to find the right words, but none came. Al-Muhalliq's once fiery spirit was now subdued, his voice trembling as he spoke of his torment and longing. The love that had once united them was now a source of unbearable pain. Tajooj felt trapped by the decision she had made, torn between her love for Al-Muhalliq and the expectations of her family and tribe. She wanted to console him, to erase the agony etched on his face, but she felt powerless. The gap created by jealousy and doubt seemed too vast to bridge. The villagers watched from a distance, their whispers of speculation and judgment a constant undercurrent. The once celebrated love story had turned into a spectacle of sorrow, and the village was divided. Some hoped for reconciliation, while others believed the separation was for the best. As the sun set, casting long shadows over the village, Tajooj and Al-Muhalliq parted ways, their hearts heavy with unresolved emotions. The meeting that was supposed to bring closure only deepened their mutual pain. Tajooj walked away, her steps faltering, as she struggled to hold back her tears. Al-Muhalliq remained where he stood, his gaze fixed on the ground, his soul engulfed in despair. The dramatic encounter left both of them haunted by the past and uncertain of the future. The love that had once been their strength was now their greatest weakness. In the quiet moments that followed, the village held its breath, waiting to see if their story would find a new beginning or a tragic end. To find peace, Al-Muhalliq retreated into the wilderness. Among the trees and under the vast sky, he sought solace and clarity. His songs echoed through the forests, carrying his love and sorrow to the ears of nature itself. After days of wandering, Al-Muhalliq returned to the village, his heart heavy but resolved. He realized that his love for Tajooj was worth fighting for, no matter the cost. His return brought hope to Tajooj, who had been anxiously awaiting his arrival. Seeing the turmoil between Al-Muhalliq and Tajooj, Al-Muhalliq's uncle made a bold suggestion. If Al-Muhalliq could refrain from singing and poetry for one night, he would help him reconcile with Tajooj. Tajooj's father and the village elders agreed and decided to have guards and witnesses ensure he kept his vow on a specific night. Desperate to win her back, Al-Muhalliq agreed, promising his uncle to never speak poetry again, despite knowing the difficulty. In a council meeting, Al-Muhalliq, eager to reunite with Tajooj, made a heartfelt plea to the elders. He vowed to give up his poetry and live in silence if it meant being with her. His words moved many, but some doubted his ability to keep such a promise. Despite his resolve, Al-Muhalliq struggled to suppress his poetic nature. One night, unable to resist, he sang a song that reached the ears of his tribe. This breach of his vow renewed conflict, setting the stage for more trials. Betrayal was close by. Said, his former best friend who secretly loved Tajooj, spreads rumors and lies, sowing seeds of doubt among the villagers. His actions led to further division and mistrust within the tribe. The village elders convened again to discuss the ongoing conflict and the fate of Al-Muhalliq and Tajooj. They debated long and hard, weighing the couple's love against the tribe's traditions. They decided to set guards and witnesses to monitor Al-Muhalliq's vow. They set the date, and the guards, witnesses, and Al-Muhalliq gathered in front of Tajooj's father's house. In the stillness of the night, the call of the rooster echoed through the village, stirring hearts and memories. For Al-Muhalliq, the rooster's cry was a reminder of the promises he had made and the love he could not let go of. As dawn approached, the trials of his heart were just beginning. As dawn broke, Al-Muhalliq found himself torn between his promise and his overwhelming need to express his love for Tajooj through poetry. The rooster's cry, a symbol of the new day, also symbolizes the renewal of his internal conflict. Despite his best efforts, Al-Muhalliq's love for Tajooj was too powerful to be silenced. As dawn approached, he found himself singing softly, unable to resist the pull of his emotions. The guards and witnesses to his vow sadly reported his failure to his uncle. Seeing her son's despair, Al-Muhalliq's mother wept for his suffering. She knew his love for Tajooj was pure, but the tribe's traditions and expectations weighed heavily on him. She tried to comfort him, but his heartache was too deep. Tajooj, learning of Al-Muhalliq's struggle, felt a mix of sorrow and determination. She loved him deeply, but was also bound by the expectations of her family and tribe. Her resolve to support him was strong, but she too felt the weight of their predicament. Unable to find peace in the village, Al-Muhalliq once again wandered into the desert. There, he poured his heart out to the vast emptiness, his songs of love and loss carried away by the wind. The desert became his sanctuary, a place where he could express his deepest emotions without judgment. Their story, filled with love, pain, and betrayal, captured the hearts of the villagers. Al-Muhalliq's struggle to balance his love for Tajooj with his poetic nature and the tribe's expectations was a testament to the power of true love and the sacrifices it demands. As Al-Muhalliq spirals further into despair, Tajooj faces her internal battles. Will their paths cross again, or is their love doomed to remain a tragic memory? Stay tuned for part 5 of this series, Betrayal and Vengeance, the final blow, to find out how Al-Muhalliq and Tajooj confront the challenges that lie ahead, where the legacy of Al-Muhalliq and Tajooj's love continues to impact the lives of those around them. The journey is filled with twists and turns that will keep you on the edge of your seat. Remember to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss the next chapter of this captivating story.